Is Leah Vukmir. She is the Senior Vice President of State Affairs at the National Taxpayers Union. Tikanis.
Oh, kala. Esi tikanis.
Leah, you're a former state senator. You're Greek, which I like because my beautiful wife is 100% Greek.
Lucky you.
I am very fortunate, indeed. Thanks for joining us today. So the Missouri plan is a little different in that it phases out gradually the income tax. And I think, I've heard people complain about what happened in Kansas, but this is not that, right?
That's correct. It does phase it out, and it does give plenty of input on the part of the taxpayers of the state, first and foremost, with the ballot question on August 4th, and then the second phase, the implementation phase, through their elected officials. All of the taxpayers can have a voice through their taxpayers. So I'm really thrilled to be on your show. National Taxpayers Union is the oldest taxpayer advocacy organization in the country, and we advocate on behalf of taxpayers at every level of government. And this is, of course, something of interest to us. The question before the voters right now is pretty simple. Should Missouri keep taxing work, penalizing work, or should workers keep more of what they earn? And that's ultimately the question before the people. When you think about income tax, it really does, as I said, penalize your work. Every raise, every overtime shift, if there's a promotion or a second job, it's immediately taxed. Before a family even has a chance to think about planning, saving, using that hard-earned money, that money is taken off and given to the government. And so this is an opportunity to phase that out and provide real relief to the families in your state. And we estimate that an average Missouri family will get a $3,000 savings, a year savings as a result of this. That's real money that people are able to use right away.
That's a trip to Disney World right there.
It sure is.
Or just about, anyway. So we've got empirical evidence, too, because other states have done away with their income tax. And what has been the results there?
Well, what we know is that in states that have lower taxes or they have no income tax, and you have a neighboring state of Tennessee with no income tax, it leads to economic growth, it leads to more jobs, it leads to migration, and all of this is a boon for your state's economy. And I've heard a lot of the naysayers say, okay, you can't compare us to states like Texas or Florida or Tennessee, but you sell yourself a little short in Missouri because you have a great tourism industry. I happen to be a golfer, and a lot of my avid golfer friends talk about coming to Paynes Valley to golf. I know a lot of people who travel to the Ozarks. They travel to Branson. So all of these are gems that you have in your state, and that'll only help your state if you move in this direction.
No doubt about it. We've got some tourism here in Missouri, but I don't think it's reached the level of Florida and Tennessee, if you will. So there will be some type of a shortfall that would have to be made up if people believe these to be vital services that would be paid for by the state. If we do away with the state income tax, how does the state make up that revenue?
Well, there are a variety of ways, and that'll be part of the second phase, and this is where your legislators will have the input. What you really want to do is broaden the base, the tax base. Basically, what you're trying to do is that you want the taxes to be more fair to more people. Right now, Missouri's income tax generates $7.8 billion from 2.8 million people. And those are 2.8 million Missourians who are working. If you change to consumption taxes, for example, you now have the ability to bring in $43+ million from folks that are coming in and out of the state. So now you have broadened the ability to bring money into your general revenue, and that will help make up the difference. And the other part of that, too, is let's not forget, states have to, and lawmakers, and I'm a former lawmaker, I know this, the hardest part for them to think about is also cutting spending and looking within. And that also has to be a component of any fiscally sound move to eliminate the income tax.
So what I hear is the argument is all going to come in from people tourism. I don't see it that way. I think it's likely we're going to see taxes raised in other places. Some of those would be on seniors, right? Right now, Social Security is not taxed inside the state of Missouri. It's likely we're going to see an increase in sales tax. Doesn't that hurt seniors who aren't paying the state income tax now, who are going to have to pay more for soap and daily services?
Well, seniors feel tax changes differently because, as you have said, they live on a fixed income. But Amendment 5 can still be very important for retirees. And seniors still pay some income taxes today. I know that in your state it's not on Social Security. It's exempt, but they pay taxes to retirement account withdrawals, pension income, investment income, or many seniors work part-time, and eliminating this income tax would ultimately protect more of their retirement income. And then let's also not forget that seniors care deeply about property taxes, and what this amendment will do is also provide some relief in that regard as well, because as local governments will have the opportunity to reduce property tax rates if they're receiving additional revenues because of an increase in sales taxes. I mean, let's face it, your state's tax system is very archaic. I mean, it's going back to the 1930s. It's a very outdated, and the economy has changed dramatically since then. And tax systems need it to evolve to reflect modern economic realities. And so broader bases, lower rates can be efficient. And right now you have something like 200 exemptions. And this is the next part of the accountability measure that is put into this constitutional amendment, because the amendment has one part that is a complete guarantee that the income tax will be eliminated, and the second part is a framework, a constitutional framework for the lawmakers, the next set of lawmakers who are chosen by the people, to put in guardrails to protect against a variety of things. And that is where the voice of the people will again come through the amendment vote on August 4th, and then also through having trust in the individuals that you elect.
You know, you mentioned the property tax aspect of this. I don't think that's gotten a lot of attention out there. And as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, Leah Vukmir joins us. She's a senior vice president of state affairs with the National Taxpayers Union. Because local governments will get, in theory, more revenue from sales taxes as that base is broadened, this act prohibits them from just simply taking the money. They have to reduce taxes on the other side so that for them it's revenue neutral. Is that how this works?
Exactly. You've said it. You hit the nail right on the head. And so if these sales tax changes will generate additional local revenue, the local governments will be required to offset. And they can do it through a variety of ways, but namely through property taxes. And that's huge, and that affects everyone. And especially when you go back to the seniors, they may have paid off their mortgages, but they still have to pay property taxes. Yep. And that's one of the areas that could definitely help them. And I think there are a lot of scare tactics that are out there when things like this proposals are put forth. You have to also look at the competitive factor, look at the states all around you, competitiveness. You are turning into one of the higher tax rate states in your area. Kansas has 5.58%. Iowa is down to 3.8%. Arkansas 3.7%. Mississippi 4%. Tennessee, of course, 0%. Illinois is at 4.95. You're at 4.7. So you've got them there at least.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It would be nicer to create a more competitive environment, and it's happening. There are at least 13 states in the country right now that are considering eliminating or lowering their income tax. So Missouri has an opportunity to bring this question to the voters. Do we want to be a part of that trend and a part of that movement? Again, think about it. Income taxes penalize your work. They penalize and punish your ability to help your families. And that means the teacher, the plumber, the nurse all pay income taxes. And to be able to realize that savings can make a huge difference for families. And that is actually what has happened in the states that have moved in this direction.
Well, we want to thank you for your time. And that's Leah Vukmir. She's Senior Vice President of State Affairs for the National Taxpayers Union. Leah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. And you can find out more at ntu.org/Missouri.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on.